This is James Lupton for Round 8 Boxing, sponsored by Upton Clan Builders. I'm delighted to join with Robert Hodgins. Rob, how are you, mate?
Not bad, James. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, very good. Thank you, mate. Thanks for joining me today. Obviously, in camp at the moment with Fabio for the big fight against Joseph Parker. At the time of recording this, we're about 2.5 weeks away from fight night. Just talk to me about so far camp. How has it gone for you guys leading into this fight? And what's been the primary focus this time around, if anything's different to last?
To me, just to pick up from the mistakes we made in the Justice Rooney fight, we know Joseph is a very good operator and he's improved massively under Andy Lee. So obviously, there's a lot of mistakes in the Justice Rooney fight, which we want to improve on and make sure we don't make the same mistakes because it could be costly.
Talking about that Hooney fight, obviously, you mentioned there's a few mistakes were made by Fairbairn, but what an unbelievable way to win that fight. Pulls that out of the bag. But it's something that he can't always rely on. And I suppose from your point of view as a coach, it's something that you're probably thinking, looking through your fingers, really, thinking to, oh God, you've got to be winning this fight. You can't rely on your dynamite. We know he's got it, but you might not always get that opportunity in a fight. So for you, obviously fixing those mistakes, what's he got to do? Has he got to start quicker, or what's he got to do?
I think with the Hooney fight, that the punch that we drilled, and there's a video of it afterwards, we drilled with Ben Davidson massively. Obviously, we didn't want to leave with 10 rounds to do. Just, get going. Don't start slowly, get going a little bit quicker. And obviously, not rely on that. Just, Fab's got a very good boxing IQ. And we see in the gym day to day. We just want to show the world what he can do.
Fabio is a very fascinating character. He's come from white collar boxing into world level boxing in such a short space of time with no amateur experience. I know you've worked with Fabio for a long time. And what's he like to work with as a boxing coach?
You know what? I've known Fabio as a kid, sorry, and I fell in love with him the first time I met him. He has this amazing belief in himself, and he likes to rib meat galore. But yeah, he's a joy to work with. We have a lot of laughs. If you've seen on the social media, we have a lot of laughs. But he does work hard.
Has there been anything, I know you mentioned about fixing mistakes from last time, but is there anything specific or specific challenges that Joseph Parker presents to you guys that you may not have faced before that you may need to tailor Fabio's strategy for?
Well, I think Joseph is our toughest fight today. There's no doubt about that. We're underdogs for a reason. But we asked for this fight a couple of years ago when we beat David Adelaide, and I believe it was in Saudi. He fought Simon King, and we thought Joseph was tailor made for what we have and what we can bring. We know he's a massive threat, but we see chinks in his armor as well. So if we want to be the best, we're gonna have to swim with the best.
You mentioned obviously it's a fight that you looked at a few years ago,
Yeah,
and you mentioned as well he's improved massively under Andy Lee's
yeah.
guidance also. Is Joseph Parker a different fighter now to the one a few years ago that you wanted to fight then?
I believe so. His current form's been brilliant. I think he's packed on a bit of muscle. He moves a bit better. He doesn't make as much space as he did before he was with Andy Lee. But yeah, I think he's a much better fighter under Andy. Andy Lee's a great coach, got a lot of respect and time for Andy. And I think, obviously, getting Joseph now than we did 2 years ago. Obviously, it could be a blessing, for us really. But yeah, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to do it with Fabio. He doesn't do things the easy way. So we've got his number two for a reason, Joseph Parker, and he should have been fighting Usyk. But if the opportunity presented to us, we're going to take it with both hands.
No, definitely. I mentioned FC Parker's probably the toughest opponent to date for
Yeah.
Fabio. He's got experience at world levels, former world champion. But what do you believe gives Fabio the edge in this matchup?
Oh, a lot of things. I think Fab's a lot quicker. We both know that Fab's got dynamite in both hands. We're going on, a lot of people going on the last performance against Justice Rooney, but if we were taking this fight on the back of the second Fraser fight, I don't think we'd be as massive underdogs. I think at any given moment, Fab can turn the lights or change a fight round. If you look at his performance against David Adelaide, uh, I think for 6 rounds, it was punch perfect. He outboxed David in every area and broke him down and took him apart. So I think, you know, certain fights you'll see. I think for Fabio, to see the best of Fabio, you've got to fight the best. And I think we're all going to see that on the 25th.
You mentioned, some people may look at this at the from the Hooney performance, and you mentioned
Yeah.
he's a dog, etc. Boxing's a fickle sport at times.
Yeah.
A bad performance, then all of a sudden you're thrown under the bus. You're not the flavour of the month as such. Can that work in your benefit and in your favour?
Oh, 100%. We are massive underdogs for this, and rightfully so. If we're going on, you're only as good as your last fight. And I get why everyone's backed in. The bookies have got him as a massive favourite. But we're underdogs, so we're in a no lose situation. We like, oh, Fabio's going to lose. They reckon Fabio's going to be big. Fabio's going to be stopped in 6 rounds. So, maybe if we do get past 6 rounds, what's going to happen then? What happens if Joseph does start to believe anything from the last Justice League fight? It's a win-win situation for us, I believe.
Fabio is a very unpredictable fighter in the sense that he's not that experienced. You never know
Yeah,
what's going to happen when Fabio fights. One thing that is guaranteed is it's usually pretty exciting to watch.
yeah.
From a trainer's perspective, what improvements or developments have you seen in Fabio over the last, say, 12 to 18 months?
Being more than Ben's. I know we didn't see in the last fights as well, but if you watched the fights before, the improvement he had done from the first Frazier fight, the improvement from David Adelaide, Fab's feet are set more, he sits on his punches, his jabs a lot better, his defense has improved, even though we forgot by Justice, really, you wouldn't say so. But, I think he ticks a lot of boxes. His feet are very good. He's very quick as well, but because he's got blistering power, we're not getting to see his quickness at the moment. But I think we will see how fast he can move and what he does in this fight.
Was Justice Hooney, looking at it now in hindsight, actually probably the perfect preparation for someone like Joseph Parker in terms of style, but also to go away from that fight with the improvements that you need to make in Fabio?
Well, I would say this on the record that a lot of people would struggle with Justice Hooney, and I think he was a much harder fight than Jared Miller. I know a lot of people disagree, but Justice Hooney is a great boxer. He's very underrated. I know he had it on 5 weeks' notice, but we had a change of opponents, so we were in the same boat as him. He was very fresh. He had two fights in December and January before coming into that, so he was sitting in the gym. But I think time will tell with Justice Hooney, and when he starts beating some big names, Fab will look back on that and go, "Well, I beat Justice Hooney." I think he's a very underrated boxer, and time will tell on that.
I agree, absolutely. Uh,
Yeah.
Parker's known for his durability. Are you and the team prepared for a potential 12-round war?
Well, yeah, we know Fab's got the power to switch out the lights for anyone in the heavyweight division, like most heavyweight boxers. But we know that Joseph Parker's got worldly experience. He's been in with a lot better boxers than we've been in with. He's got massive experience, and we know that if he wanted to, he can drag it up to 12 rounds. So we've been preparing for 12 rounds. We know that he could go to 12 rounds, and that's something we've been preparing for a lot.
Obviously, this fight is, like I say, the biggest fight Fabio's had so far, and what that comes with that is the spotlight, the expectations, etc. How do you and Fabio handle the mental side of a big fight like this?
To be honest, Fab Hampton's a lot better than me. So he's so relaxed and nonchalant about everything. He takes it in stride. From where he's come from to be this relaxed and comfortable takes a certain mindset. And annoyingly, he has one of the best mindsets I've ever seen. And I've been around a few gyms in my years and always around Ben's a lot as well with world champions. His mindset is amazing. It's one of his biggest attributes that he has. His mindset is ever since when he was sparring Tyson Fury and Usyk all those years ago, he went there to say, okay, you're going to see what I can do. He's got a very strong mindset, annoyingly.
You mentioned the sparring there, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, obviously two of the top guys in the division all those years ago. Do you look back now in hindsight and see the lessons that he learned in those spars and how he's utilised them now through his career?
Yeah, because he never had the ABA record. You know, I mean, the plan was to go to ABA, but he was offered the chance to turn pro, which at the time we all said no. But as we said about his mindset, which comes being a good, strong mind, and be very stubborn and know what you want. And he said, no, I'm going to turn over. So his plan was, and this was his idea, was I'm going to start the very best in the country and learn my trade. We start off sparring Sam Sexton, British champion from Norwich, who was the only one to spar with us from day one. No one would spar with us because we were little old white collar Wardley. And he learned from Sam Sexton a lot. Then he started to get his name round going with Dylan, Derek Chisora, Tyson, then Usyk, Pavonkin, all them names. And he's there with, it's not just a spar team, but he takes a lot from all this. That was his on the job training, that was his apprenticeship. And that's where he learned, he was known as being a good sparring partner. So that's what he thought. Instead of going doing the amateurs, he thought, I'm going to learn on the job in the thick of it, be around the best. If I want to be the best, I've got to mix it with the best. And, you know, like whatever they do, I do.
What would you say is one thing that the public or the pundits or even the bookmakers might be underestimating about Fabio going into this fight?
I think if you look at some of the bookmakers, it's 7-1 for Fabio to knock Joseph out or TKO, which I think is, you know, for anyone, he's got the highest knockout ratio of not just the heavyweight of British boxer at the moment. I think it's 93%. So it's that's, you know, anyone can knock anyone out at any given time. And if Fab doesn't land on Joseph, Joseph's been down a couple of times. I know it's durable when he gets back up and it's beating with massive punches. But if Fab smells that finish, it's either one punch or a load of punches. He's going to go for the finish. So for that to be, you know, the underdog with the highest punch rate, I just don't see why that's. I get why he's an underdog to win the fight, but for the knockout, you know, I think that's a massive underestimate on anyone's part.
You mentioned earlier about Fabio's mindset sort of setting him apart from others, but you mentioned there about if he sees the opportunity, he'll take it. He's got that killer instinct that you need in boxing,
Yeah.
especially at heavyweight boxing. Is that something else that sets him apart from his peers?
Yeah, I think you know, you have to have that image. You have to carry instinct in boxing. You got like, he will, if he smells blood, you can't train that. That's instinctive, and that's down to him. And I think if he smells blood with Joseph, he's going in for a kill. And, you know, he throws everything into those shots. And I think that's why he's so unorthodox, but it works well. And at the moment, I don't think we've got a head. I know we had Wilder who done that as well, but I think that was a bit more calculated than Wilder. But if he does smell blood, he's definitely down for the kill.
Just finally, Rob, if it all goes to plan on fight night, what sort of statement would you like Fabio to make with his performance?
Oh, well, we want a clinical performance, not just a knockout. We want a boxing performance. We want Fab to show the world what we see in the gym every day with him, that he works hard, he can actually box. We know he's got power. But, you know, it show where you've come from, where he's got to, you know, to write us off after one performance is, I think, a little bit misguided. You know, go on his other fights, look where he's come from, look how he's improved from the Simon Viali fight, from the Nick Webb fight, from the Nathan Gorman fight, and he was always climbing that ladder, he improves. And just for that one performance, just to think that he's a massive underdog, I'd like to be judged overall. And I think when we, you know, fingers crossed, touch wood, when we do beat Joseph either by decision or knockout, I think the world he will get his plaudits and the world will see that he is a serious contender.
Beat Joseph Parker, he's number one. He's got to be in line for the world title next. How exciting does that make you as a trainer?
Do you know, like Dream, I said to him the other day, I said to him, I was sitting there talking, and I said to him, if you get to fight Usyk, which you have to, and it's for all the titles, you would be the first British undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis in 1999. And he went, yeah, you're right. And I went, yeah, so we have to ask Lee Riley and Ben. And they agreed. They went, we have to do a little bit of research, but it's true. So there hasn't been an undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis, all the belts. British champion. So that's good. You know, we go down in the history books, and I think Lennox Lewis won it after 100 years. So, so I think, you know, we could go like I hope I didn't say that too early to him and put a pressure on him. But yeah, I think yeah, that's the dream. But when we started out, the dream was to be a world champion. To make this dream come true. Fab just wants to be in the best fights, be a world champion, and that's the dream we've had ever since he bought gloves.
Absolutely. Rob, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best of luck for the 25th.
Cheers, James, mate. Thank you, mate. I hope you're tuning in or you're going to be there, my friend.
Absolutely will be.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.